So Oregon State loses Damian Martinez to the transfer portal, or so he says.
Yeah, because you can't. I don't think the portal's actually open right now, so you're making your intentions known.
It actually closes, huh?
It does.
Doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, but there's one at the end of the season, or I guess during bowl season, and then there's one after spring practice. The idea is that you can go through spring practice and then decide if you want to head out, and so you're just making your intentions known that you're entering the portal. But Beaver Blitz had that today, so.
One of the college football scribes out there, Thamel, one of those guys, said that Martinez was set to make $400,000.
Yeah.
In NIL.
Yeah.
At Oregon State.
Yeah. But
which that's not jump change, but at the same time,
he'll get it somewhere else.
He can get way more than that somewhere else.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So it's hard to blame him.
Well, and I don't even necessarily think it's about the money. I mean, again, I don't want to crap on.
Well, then what took so long?
I think the idea of you go through spring practice and. Again, I'm not trying to throw shade at anyone, but when your big additions to the when you're used to running behind one of, if not the best O-line in the country, and then you look around and you're playing behind not that offensive line anymore, and you're looking at your quarterbacks and you're looking around and you're like, you're the last man standing and you didn't sign up to play in this conference, whatever the hell you're playing, and you look at your schedule with the exception of 3 games, it's against teams that, again, this isn't who you signed up to play. I can't blame the kid. I was surprised that he was on board from the get-go. Look,
yeah, that
right
was
now,
great.
this is the last man out, shut the lights off. And we also don't know what this coaching staff is about. We don't know what he thinks of his OC, doesn't know what he thinks of his head coach. So, I mean, I applaud him at least for, I guess, sticking around long enough to get an idea.
Felt like he gave it a chance, and then you show up and you see what you actually have, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I can do this.
So
yeah, it's not a good sign, is it?
It's not great, no.
Due to the timing of it?
No, it is
Where's
not.
he from? And where does everybody...
Texas.
Where do we think he's going?
I think he's from the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Well, he was a guy that was a late kind of recruit. He popped, and he stuck with Oregon State because they were the first ones on him, and he was a loyal sort of guy, but people went after him hard. And I've heard that, maybe it's a USC sort of thing. So we'll see. I mean, look, Damian Martinez is a 2-time all Pac-12 back. Damian Martinez is going to have his choice of where he wants to go.
A lot of good programs going to be knocking on his door.
Yes.
Is Michigan State going to get a crack at him?
It's possible.
With Jonathan Smith?
I don't think so, because he had said previously when he said he wanted to stay that he said he felt lied to by Jonathan Smith. So if that was the case then, it doesn't mean that he's not going to go somewhere. I mean, he could, but it sounded like that relationship soured.
I also wonder, too, if you're Damian Martinez, do you just want to go take a swinge, if you will, at the big time? And no offense to Jonathan Smith and Michigan State, but that's a building thing.
Alabama?
I'm assuming Damian Martinez this will be his last year, and then, you're eligible and you're going to go to the draft after that. So
Kansas?
Who knows?
There it is.
Who knows? Do you want to?
I think that's it.
The biggest fear is if you're Oregon State is that he's gonna pull just move up the road a little bit and go to Oregon.
Ooh, ouch.
Well, I mean that's like what Muhammad, the corner from Washington, he did that to him. So
now, if you're Oregon, you already have good running backs. You're
100%.
You're just like, yep,
yes,
move it along, dude.
What about UW?
I don't know why. Yeah, I mean, look, there's not a program in the country that wouldn't find Damian Martinez useful. Dude, the dude's one of the best backs in the country. Everyone.
What do you got
to
pay him? You think?
Well,
a milli?
I don't even know if that. I mean, $400,000 is what was at Oregon State, and running backs are not quarterbacks. They're not necessarily big time receivers, but collective, you throw $600,000-700,000 at them. I think you got yourself a really, really good 2-time all Pac-12 back.
Somebody said Colorado as well. Maybe.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, there really isn't any indication.
I have no idea. No idea where he may end up. And again, we haven't, as far as I know, we haven't even heard from Damian Martinez. This was just reported. Beaver Blitz had, and when Beaver Blitz and Angie and those people over there, they're tied in. So when they say multiple sources, look, he's gone, but let's wait and hear from the kid. And right now too, let's give him some time to figure out, respect his decision. And you got to believe too, that over the last couple months, how many different middlemen have come to Damian Martinez and his family? Let's not act like he's just sitting around and it was like, oh, I decided to do this. I'm sure that guy has had offers up the wazoo coming down the.
He's going to Wazoo?
I don't think so. That I don't think.
24/7 Sports has a list of schools that he could be headed to. Now, I'm not sure what this is all based off of, but they listed Tennessee, they listed Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Miami, Kentucky. Yeah.
Ole Miss is where Jam Griffin's from.
Yeah, he transferred over from Ole Miss, right? The old Rebels. But you got a guy in the last 2 years. Now, to be fair, if you want to take some shot at Damian Martinez, and I know a Beaver fan, feels a little burnt. He did run behind phenomenal O-lines, but dude, the cat averaged 6.1 and 6.8 yards per carry the last 2 years. I mean,
he's good. No doubt about that.
He's really, really good.
This article saying Miami, Colorado, Alabama, and Utah as options.
Yeah.
Utah.
Yeah, there you go. That might be a good one. I'd like to
Bruising
sign up,
back for Whittingham.
I'd like to go sign up for that. I mean, do you want to go to a place that's going to feature you and run the rock
and they're going to the Big 12, right?
Yep,
so then he gets to play a lot of games back home in front of his people.
Mm-hmm.
A tweet.
And probably the best team. I think, and I haven't seen the odds, but I would assume just off the top of my head that Utah is one of the 2 favorites in the Big 12
compete for a title, you'd imagine?
This from Angry Beaver 2 on the twits.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't help when the only time you ever mention the Beavers is when you're openly praising their relegation.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Instead of fighting for us, you're kicking us when we are down.
Fighting? What?
How would Suke fight for them?
What do you want?
This is on the this is on the fan Twitter.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily.
Oh, so someone like Sprague's not fighting hard enough, huh?
Well, yeah, isn't Sprague like a big Beaver guy?
He's a Beaver
guy.
Yeah, we got a Beaver guy, we got a Duck honk, we got a Blazers honk.
I went to BYU. We suck. I don't know what you want from me. Although I think we should get that white kid from Indiana, the
Avila,
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar
at BYU.
Look at that kid. What says white virgin better than BYU? Look at that guy. Let's go.
He does look like a virgin.
He belongs at BYU. He'll be one of the better looking guys. Come on over. Let's go. So, by the way, you want to feel bad for a program? So they were the runner-up in the NIT. Should have been in the
Indiana State.
Indiana State,
not BYU.
No, not BYU.
They were one and done in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, we could have seen that coming. Come on, we went full Patino. Never go full Patino. We started an NCAA tournament game with 4 white guys and an Egyptian. For God's sakes, their top 8 players, 8, all gone.
Really,
and they were all returning.
Well, the coach left.
Coach
went to St. Louis.
But 8? They had all underclassmen. They were primed next year to come back for a run, and all 8 are gone.
8 in 2 days.
Yeah, this is college sports now.
Yes.
I mean, look at what happened with, we're talking about Oregon State. Look at what happened with Washington, man.
Oh, yeah.
I mean.
Exactly, and Washington was in the national title game. Yes. They got gutted, too.
Completely gutted.
Yes.
But I just don't know how you want us to fight for you, man. It's just so hard when all the news is bad.
Yeah.
What do you expect the commentary to be like?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy.
I want to report positive things. I like when Oregon State is good. It's a great institution. I think you've done more with less than most programs around the country. But if you would like, I would love to know how you want me to put a positive spin on any of this.
Well, again, it wasn't directed at you. It was just at the fan.
Well, how are we supposed to fight for them?
I think that's
That's what you hold on.
A lot of people want
optimism.
They want the softy version of their team. That's what they want. They love that.
Kind of pump you up and make you feel good about him.
Softy, if you don't know, he's a radio host in Seattle who's just.
It doesn't matter what.
All Huskies.
Yes, Washington. He's the Black Knight in Monty Python. Washington could have both legs and arms cut off, and Softy would be like, "We're gonna bite you. We're gonna bite your leg off. It's just a flesh wound."
But he's the guy that brings up like, "Well, we didn't want that guy anyway."
Exactly.
Or there's more to this story, and it's actually, it's like, dude.
No, there isn't more to this story.
And fans want that.
It sucks. Right
fans
now.
Want that.
Well,
they want that from. I don't know if Sprague is like that. I don't,
he's not.
I don't think so.
No, Sprague unfortunately is.
He's actually level-headed.
He's level-headed and is like
fair.
Crap.
Calls it like he sees it.
I think Sprague
God forbid.
I think Sprague is more at this point like he's just is so depressed. I think he's ready to be done with it. And I don't blame Beaver fan.
Here's a text, Vancouver 4 text line. The worst part of all of this is that Oregon State built over the last few seasons the most realistic best case scenario for its program.
Yes.
Yeah, that particularly makes it sting.
Yeah, exactly. Alumni, good coach, develop players like crazy.
Stadium renovation.
Played a tough brand of football. The Utah blueprint, be an always competitive team, and every now and then when you get a special player, you can compete at the top of a power conference. It was there. It was all we wanted. The world is tough. We overuse the word unfair, but for all my fellow alumni, this is unfair and undeserved.
Yes, it is. And I agree. And I've said that from the very beginning. What has happened to your programs sucks, and it is not your fault. And to an extent, not to this level, what's happening with Oregon State. But we talked about this. And when the world of NIL and transfer and everything came up, and by the way, the NCAA is, because of antitrust laws, the one transfer thing, that's going away. You're going to be able to transfer anytime you want, whenever you want. Have you seen this?
No.
Yeah, the NCAA is going to have to do away with the transfer rule because, they just keep losing in court. So real soon, maybe as soon as next year, there will be unlimited transfers.
Oh, God.
Which is insanity.
No sit out. Well, it's not insanity because, again, antitrust. They will lose in court. How can you tell a coach that he can leave and administrators, and you tell a player, no, if you leave, you only get to do it one time or you're punished?
I get all of that, but when you have more movement than any of the pro sports, it's a huge problem.
So what college is going to do now, as long as basically you are in good academic standing, which we know what that's all about, you can transfer as much as you want. So it's going to get worse. And I said this at the very beginning, as much as players deserve to get paid in NIL, and people were trying to make the argument that this was going to spread out the talent and this was going to be better for more schools, it is not. What this is going to do is this is going to gut smaller programs, the Indiana States and the Oregon States and everyone else, because when you have a player that pops or you have a good season and you've got guys coming back, how on earth are you going to tell those people that you shouldn't go play at Alabama and Ohio State and all these different programs? When you look at these real national powers, not only are they getting better recruits, but they are going in now and taking the 5 or 6 kids that they want that are the best players from the team, the conference, their conference opponents. They're taking each one of those smaller schools' best player and adding it to theirs. And this is the nature of the beast. And Oregon State, unfortunately, is taking the brunt end of this, but theirs is worse because obviously, the whole conference thing. But I think there's a lot of schools around the country that are saying, even when we can try to pay kids, how am I supposed to compete with?
Yeah, and that's the thing.
The level at which these other big schools are doing.
The positive view is this, and this is as positive as it can get for Oregon State, and it is that the way this model is forming, you don't stand much of a chance anyway.
Probably.
So,
but at least there was a belief that you could have the special season.
So there's optimism in biding your time.
Yeah.
Let these lawsuits play out. College football is going in basketball, but mostly football is going to be it's going to look completely different in a number of years, and perhaps then
maybe
it all just starts from scratch.
That's the only thing you can hold on
to.
That's
the positive view right now. That's what you got.
Yes. That is a very realistic approach to this whole thing.